Good morning, everybody. I am the Bald Historian, and today we're driving through Gettysburg. Sorry, I stopped talking because I just had an idea, and I was working through it. Anyway, yes, it is New Year's Eve, which of course means the day before New Year's Eve. And I finally, after having 3 weeks, quote unquote, off, finally have time to go and work. So, going into the studio to put up maybe a show or two. I don't know. Definitely one for Monday on Patreon. It's going to be Tim Russo's Ghosts of Plum Run. That's a book. All through December, we were putting out shows about books that came out this year. So that's gonna come out. So there, and then that's the last one. Also, they're all. You don't need to create an account. You can just go find them and listen to them. They'll all go back to being exclusively for our paying members on the 1st, which probably means today while I'm over at the studio working on stuff, because I won't have time to do anything tomorrow, and unfortunately Patreon doesn't let you schedule accessibility changes. Otherwise I would just do that all today for the 1st. So you better get listening to some things that you want to hear now. Otherwise, how are y'all doing? Hope you're doing well. I hope this has been a joyous and festive holiday season for you. Let's go a different way today. We usually go to the main battlefield first. We're gonna go to East Cavalry Field first, and then work our way in from there. That should be different for us. I don't know why I have sunglasses on. It's not sunny. But where did you spend Christmas? Did you have Christmas at home? Did you have Christmas at a relative's house? That's question number one I want you to answer. And question number two is, did you get into any family brawls over politics or what? Whatever. Always interesting to hear the family drama, the squibbles, the squabbles, the... what could I rhyme that with? Well, you know, things. Let's see. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Barbara. Good morning, Jennifer. Good morning, Dustin. Good morning, Marcia. Happy New Year's Eve to you as well. Major's fine. She's coming home today at 3 o'clock. Very excited. I have to tell you, I'm surprised how much I missed her on day 3. I said to Cindy, okay, I miss Major. Didn't think I would. I thought I would enjoy the break. But nope, missed her. John says Saturday. Uh-oh. Sorry we're making you work. No, this is my own doing here. Garrick says, good morning, Matt. We're on the way to Hanover. Yeah, no, just go ahead and cut in front of me, asshole. Sorry, Jersey came out there. On the way to Hanover to work on a new house, and then to go to Gettysburg for a quick walk around. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Congratulations on the new house. Michael says, I learned yesterday that there is a fellow Gettys nerd in my area. Oh, listen to this. So I was driving New Jersey, um, for Christmas. And we stopped on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. I think it's the last rest area before. Well, that's it. I think it's the last rest area on the Turnpike. And go in, take a leak, go to 7-Eleven. I had forgotten to bring sunglasses, so I'm like, let me grab some sunglasses in case the sun decides to come out. And so I go, there's a 7-Eleven there. I go over to 7-Eleven, I get the sunglasses, and I begin to walk out. And as I get to the door, I hear Matt from Addressing Gettysburg. And my initial reflex when that happens is to kind of like do a standing fetal position and yell, "Don't shoot me." And then afterwards I find out, no, they mean no harm. And yeah, it was a listener. And he's like, he introduced himself, and I recognized his name from, comments and stuff. And I was like, how weird is this that, you recognize me? Here, of all places, That was pretty neat. And then I get in the car, and then Cindy comes in a couple minutes after me, and she's like, oh, the weirdest thing. I was inside, and there was this guy on his cell phone, and he was saying, Matt from Addressing Gettysburg. And I said, oh yeah, I know, I met him. And I said he was probably talking to his wife, because he said his wife is gonna be pissed that she missed it, or something like that. So, yeah, that was exciting for me. It's one thing when you're here and someone stops you, but when you're on a rest area out near Philly, that's a different story. Garrick's worked on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day on the ambulance. Jennifer says, my family spent Christmas with a friend from church. No squibbles. Good. How about squabbles? West Virginian home, no drama, says Marcia. Bill Pike says, home in Arizona. Stella says, good morning. Good morning, Stella. You're our wonderful friend, Estella. Happy New Year, everyone, she says, and we send it back to you. Ms. Lisi says, headed down Sunday, excited to be at the square again for New Year's Eve. Yes. Yeah, I don't think we're going. I think we're going to just stay home. A couple friends from out of town are in. They're going to have them over. There's a super secret club that a good deal of us in the history media world are a part of. And so some members of that club are in town. It's super secret. I'm not going to tell you what it is. And so we're going to have them over. And that's it. Bill says, some family drama that started Leave the World Behind, and if it was a good movie. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, we saw that movie. I like movies like that. Like, end of the world type scenarios. Although it's funny because I remember saying like 20 years ago when all these like dystopian movies like Hunger Games and things were coming out and how much the kids loved them, I was like, this is preparing them for something. And everybody's like, oh, you're so paranoid. And then here we are in the Hunger Games, and which was the generation that fell into line easiest? That generation. Time I see one of these end of the world movies, I just assume that they're predictive in some way or another. And I'm sure I know the line in the movie that caused the argument there, Bill. But that line aside, I didn't. So it was funny because I saw that line out of context, and people were all outraged over it. And I like to actually see things in context because I could tell you, here's something that I learned, and I really learned it after doing the show, and that is that you will always be taken out of context because people do not understand context and people don't know how to listen. And so it's a very real thing. And then there's people who do it on purpose. They have nefarious purposes, or they're trying to get you to come over to their side. So I always like to get the whole quote. I won't really get outraged over things that people get outraged over, because I actually will listen to the whole quote. And then I go, oh, well, when you take it in context of what the person was saying, it's actually not that bad. And people get outraged over that. Anyway, so I saw the whole movie, and I kind of enjoyed it, wondering what's going on. What is the cause of this, right? But we never find that out exactly. And the ending is a Sopranos ending, and it just pissed me off. And then the line is in character with the girl. The girl is touchy. She's younger. She's touchy about race and all that stuff, because that's the way they've been raised at that age. So the character is completely in line with someone her age. And for her to say something like that is not out of character. It's stupid, but it's not out of character. But I'm curious to know what the argument was in your family, Bill. John B. says, I got both of Corey Forrest's books on Longstreet. Very good. Confirmed Santa got my letter in heaven. What? Oh, because Santa died after doing our show, I think is what you're saying. Okay. Gail Henderson, good to see you. Haven't seen your name in a while. Happy New Year to you. Nice to see you again. Steve says, I don't know if you're into gigantic trees around the battlefield, but when you turn off Eisenhower Road to Red Rock Road, leaving the Eisenhower, there's a gigantic oak tree. Huge, bigly. I'm not familiar with that tree. I do love a nice big old tree, though. Who doesn't? A super secret history club. What is that? A more nerdy Legion of Doom? No. It's not a history club per se, Mike. It's a club that a group of people who do what I do and historians are a member of, based on experiences we've had with a certain entity. But it's super top secret. Ziggy says, Ziggy, I think I've seen you on here before, but not for a long time. Perhaps I'm wrong. Hey man, Happy New Year. Hopefully we all ascend into a good one. Yeah. Ghost of Sickles Lake says, hello and good morning. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Liking, sharing, subscribing. Actually, that's a tremendous way to get me to stop begging you to become a patron. Is just like, share, and subscribe, and comment often. That helps with the algorithm. And that's another way to, and then just leave it to someone else to become a patron. It's the American way. Use somebody else's money. You advocate for the show and get other people to join. Of course, you get nothing because you bought no stake in it yourself, but still, this is the way. It's the way to do it. Stella says, Michael, did you ever meet up with Glenn and I at East Cavalry Field? I don't remember. I think you would remember if you had an East Cavalry Field encounter with the great Six Questions Lentz. History Fight Club. Yeah, sort of. Dress up as historic figures and fight it out. Yeah, now this has more to do with the propagation of history, the profligation of history. And a certain entity in the field who steals from people and does nothing. But I don't know. It's I don't want to be too cryptic. That's a cool picture. Hold on, let me just get a screenshot of that. And 3, 2. All right, try to make a painting out of that someday. Um, yeah, and it's just the membership, of course, is secret. I mean, obviously, I just told you I'm in it, but I can't tell you who else is in it. But you would be surprised. You'd be surprised. Anyway, no, but it's really just a couple of my friends are in town, and we're just gonna have them over. I used to go to the square. I still might, make just a quick little pop in, but there's to me there's no point in staying till midnight because there's no fireworks. The cool thing about the way we did New Year's was they had fireworks right over the square, and I just thought that was cool. How many times do you see fireworks right over the center of a town? I just thought that was really neat that we did that. But there's apparently a new sheriff in town, and they had to make up goofy reasons to not do it because they simply just don't want to do it. And, whatever. So I don't know. It doesn't appeal to me anymore. And actually, New Year's Eve never really did. I don't know if you could tell if Christmas never really appealed to me after learning the news about the big guy, St. Nick. Then it was like, well, what's the point of this then? No, so New Year's, even when I was younger, I never wanted to be in a crowded bar on New Year's Eve. I didn't want to be in a crowded square, whether it be Times Square in Gettysburg or Times Square in New York. We would have house parties, and those were fun. But that was it. House parties enough for me. Yeah. And I've done the square here many times. It used to be fun because you could walk around with open containers. I don't know if you still can now. I don't remember last year because it's not important for me anymore. So I don't know, but yeah, it's definitely worth doing if you've never done it before. And obviously if you like it, then go ahead and do it, but how many times are you going to see a wig pulled off Thaddeus Stevens' head? Wait. What? Hold on there, Jamie. Now, I was not aware of this. Is it Ross's head, or is it like an effigy of Thaddeus Stevens? Because if we get to pull it off of Ross's head, I think I might want to do it. I did not know of the wig. That's funny. Mike says, just the right amount of cryptic is appropriate, otherwise it's weird. Right, exactly. Bill says, have they announced the new park superintendent? No. The interim superintendent is the deputy superintendent. I'm gonna mess up her last name because it's similar to somebody else's. Chris, is it Heister? There's a lot. There's like Heiseys, Heisters, Heislers, Heislers, Hesslers. There's a bunch of them around here, and I always get them all mixed up. I mean, Hessler I know, Heiser I know, John Heiser, Jim Hessler. Those are because I know them. I've met them. I've talked to them. But the other ones I always confuse. Well, Dustin Heisey, I know him. Anyway, point is, yes, it is the deputy she was the deputy. Now she is the interim superintendent, and but I did hear that we're not going to go through temporary supers after temporary super after temporary super for years. We actually are going to get a permanent. About mid-year, I think I heard, or later on in the year. So this isn't going to be a limbo state, of when are we ever going to have a leader? A lot of people think that Cameron Mallow is being considered as superintendent. So we'll see if that pans out. All right, so when you're coming in on 116, you could continue straight into town. I'm going to go this way on Middle Street because I want to approach the first day's battlefield from the Fairfield Road. So this is, see the stop sign there? Underneath it, it says stop, except right turn. I've never seen that in New Jersey, but I see it around Gettysburg quite often, and I love that. I love that. I love moving forward, constantly moving forward. I hate having to stop. So it's nice that they allow us to be adults and turn right at a stop sign. In case you're wondering, it is 43 splendiferous degrees today here in Gettysburg. Not terrible. Not terrible at all. So we're on Middle Street. This is East Middle Street. People might be asking, well, how do you tell where West Middle and East Middle begin? And I say, that's a great question. And your dividing line is this next intersection here, Baltimore Street. If it's east of Baltimore, it's East Middle, etc., etc. All right, now we're going on to West Middle. There we are. Doesn't it feel different over here, guys? Wow. It's a different feeling. Yeah, Jennifer says it's been unreal here in the Northeast. It's been warm, and she's not complaining, nor am I. I'm actually hoping all winter stays like this. This wouldn't be that bad. But then, you know, the bugs in the spring are in more full force, I notice. When you have these temperate winters, I guess you need it to freeze enough for them to die so that you don't get so many. I don't know. I'm just making that up. But could be true. Who knows? Who knows? But there's Folgers for you, and it's decaffeinated too. So don't forget, February 17th is truly the first important day of 2024 that you need to remember and make plans to attend. We're doing Taco Tuesday Trivia Night on a Saturday. That's the official title. And it's going to be at the Seminary Refectory. And it's going to be, you know, February. You're in the doldrums. It's like the dead of winter. Everybody's over it. We're like, come on, spring. Come on, Schwartz. Come on, Schwartz. And, you know, it doesn't get any closer no matter how much you cheer it on. So, you know, one thing that we can do is we can keep warm with good food and good friends and good fun. And instead of doing a show, we decided we're going to just do this for fun. And it's a trivia night. Come hang out with us, have some good tacos. And it's made by Jake Shadell, who has Ragged Edge Coffee Shop. He's going to be making the tacos. He's got his kitchen set up there, and he does catering as well. And yeah, it should be fun. It should be a good way to just kind of break the monotony of the winter. I'm guessing it's mostly going to be people who are local, and by local I mean like within an hour drive or something, that they'll be the ones who will come to this. But of course, anyone and everyone is welcome, even people that haven't been around for a while or whatever. Come on out, have fun, mingle, get into some trivia teams and compete against each other in fun, of course. And or maybe not, I don't know, bring some brass knuckles with you. Yeah, so there you go. February 17th. That's a Saturday, but we're doing Taco Tuesday. Let me pull over here, catch up on these comments. All right, let's see. I knew Park do Super. That was the last one. I would fight Gary Edelman dressed as Sickles with Gary dressed as Lincoln. I doubt Gary would do that though. Statue in front of the courthouse by the Fisher. Oh, okay. So that's the new. That's the new thing. Is we take the wig off of that. I like that. Who came up with that idea? That's good. Years of temp offers no real stability. I don't know what that's referring to. Gene says, hey, I finally caught a live drive. The last two were while I was on the road for Christmas. Here's wishing everyone a prosperous new year, to everyone watching, and to Matt, the driver, too. Thank you, Gene. Glad you caught us live. Okay, Abraham with a fishing pole. It almost feels like spring. I'm not complaining, says Mike. Yeah, I know. 43. It's 34 here in West Virginia. Well, you must be on a mountain then, Ziggy, because it's 43 down here at not much higher than sea level, whatever we are at. I don't know what we are. Weather here in the Northeast has been unreal. Okay, I read that. I must have missed those other guys. I didn't go by my old place. Oh, sorry, Paul. I didn't go by your old place. Hi, Mike. 6 questions. Hope you are well and enjoying the holidays. Had a bit of snow in the fields. It's snowing hard here. Oh, gosh. You have my sympathies. Brass knuckles. I like the path you're headed down. Very interesting. Rich Snyder says, Happy New Year to everyone at AG. Happy New Year to you as well, Rich. Thank you for your contributions throughout the last year, which helped to make it one of the best years, probably the best year that I've had. No, definitely the best year that I've had. So Estella calls dibs on 6 questions to be the trivia partner. Unfortunately, 6 questions is going to be relegated to sitting right next to me during trivia, because any team that has him has an unfair advantage. And unfortunately, we can't tie half his brain behind his back. It doesn't work like that. If this was boxing, we could do one hand. But yeah, so Mike is going to have to sit right by me. And no, I'm just kidding, Mike. Mike's welcome to join any team he wants to. But just know that if Mike is on a team, that team can only have 3 people, and everybody, the other teams can be much bigger, because we need more brain power on the other teams in order to combat Mike's. Although we don't know, though, ladies and gentlemen. Mike is very good with Gettysburg trivia, but this is general trivia that we're doing. Of course, it's going to have a good deal to do with the battle and the battle around the seminary. Of course, guys, of course. But in order to attract more people, we're going to do general trivia. And that was actually a request from my friend's girlfriend. She's like, I love trivia nights. Is this going to be only Civil War? Because I don't know anything about it. Can you make it general? And I said, yeah, no, we're making it general for that reason. So we're going to attract more flies with honey, theoretically. So anyway, contact the seminary about Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center. Contact them about trivia night and find out how to get your tickets for it and all that jazz. Of course, it's Saturday, so they're not here. Well, they might be over at the museum. I don't know if the museum's open or not. But I know Pete and Cody and Rob are not in their offices because I sent them a message this morning and I got auto replies. So I know that they're not there. But we're going to, yeah, that's the first thing there. February 17th. I believe no, it's not free because you got to get the tacos. But it's not expensive. It's only like, I don't know, $15 maybe, something like that. Per person. We're not I'm not getting anything from it. It's for the seminary and Jake's tacos. Yeah. But I don't know exactly what they're charging, but I know we talked about it being cheap, and I said I'm not going to take anything for this. I'll just do this for the fun of it. And you know, get a little attention for the Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, maybe we should auction off 6 questions on your team. That's how I'll make money. I won't take anything off the tickets, but I'll auction Mike off. No, I'm sure Mike will know to not. Oh, you know what? Who cares, Mike? Let it go. Let your brain go and obliterate the other teams. That's what makes it fun. Sixpence none the richer, Ghost. Oh, there you go. You got it. Good morning, Tom. Mike, yes. Point taken. And so for those of you who aren't up on the roads but want to know, we are at West Confederate Avenue. We are on it, excuse me. And goes along Seminary Ridge. And you got a beautiful view of the Union Line off to my left. Off to the right, the mountains, the beautiful mountains where the sun sets. That was Jeff Shower and his wife Steph that we just passed there. And we're going to make a left here and take a look out at the field of Pickett's Charge. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, somebody just said it's a great day to walk around and see the battlefield without stuff on it. leaves without, see what am I trying to say? Get the lay of the land, okay, guys? And we're gonna get the lay of the land because there's no leaves on the trees, so you can see somewhat through the woods. And then also there's no crops. There are no crops in the fields, and therefore it's easier to get an idea how the fields are laid out. And sight lines and things, and now of course there were crops and leaves during the battle, but there was no undergrowth in the woods, most of them, and they didn't grow corn the way we grow corn today. So a little different, but essentially the same. But you get to see the ground underneath. The ground is the same no matter what's growing on it. So yeah, it's just a good time to come out. Also, you get the place to yourself. If you can handle the cold, you get the battlefield to yourself, and it's not bad. If you get a guide to come out with you, they may be less apt to be on time if you want to get a little extra time with them, because well, what have they got to go to? Because they probably don't have another tour lined up like they do in the summer. So there's a lot of advantages to coming in the winter, with of course the biggest disadvantage being that it's winter, and winter is ugly and cold. But if you, like I said, if you can manage that, then this is really a great time to come. Winter's great for viewing the terrain, get some mud boots and have fun. There you go. Do you ever go through Evergreen Cemetery to show the Jenny Wade and Elizabeth Thorne statue and the gatehouse? So yeah, actually I can go. You can't drive through the National Cemetery, so I never go through there, but I have gone through Evergreen, and I could do that. I won't have time to add that in today, but we can do that another day. I have absolutely done that before, and it's cool. And that's another thing you should do when you come and visit, is make sure that you not only go to the National Cemetery, but go to Evergreen Cemetery as well. And don't forget to throw in the Eisenhower Farm. I think especially people who maybe were kids in the 50s, who might have memories of going to the grandparents' house. It might remind you of that. I know it reminded me of my grandparents' house, and my grandparents were alive in the, I was a little kid, I should say, going to my grandparents' house in the 80s. And there were many sensibilities that I guess Mamie Eisenhower and my grandmother shared, decor-wise. Until you hear the docent say, this coffee table was a gift from the First Lady of South Korea, and then you realize that your grandmother and Mamie Eisenhower's tastes may have been the same, but their sourcing of this material was not the same. I think the best thing my grandmother had was like Ethan Allen furniture, which is nice furniture, but not as a gift from the First Lady of South Korea. But it's definitely worth going to the Eisenhower if you haven't already. It's kind of that like hidden treasure, although it's not really hidden. They advertise it at the visitor center. More people need to get out there. We're going to do some shows this year about the Eisenhowers and the Eisenhower Farm, because, well, we've kind of been asked to, and also I think it's something. We're at Addressing Gettysburg. We are trying to give you a complete picture of Gettysburg, but the battle is at the center of it all. But every once in a while, we like to jump out into other things, and that's what Patreon is for, because it's less confusing for the people that listen to the free feed. Free feed people, they just want to hear the battle. And you separate the men from the boys by saying, well, if you want to learn more, here's how you support the show, and then you get all this extra knowledge. And that's what we do over. That's why we put out 4 shows on Patreon to the 2 free shows that we do every month, is because it's really, that's where we're all learning. I'm learning too. Like there's an episode we did with Kevin Bryant, which will be out in January. shit, I can't remember the name of the battle, but it was a battle that took place when he was down in, I believe it was New Orleans. Mike Lentz, you might remember the name of this. I think you were watching when we did that. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, the Eisenhower Farm. Yeah, go to the Eisenhower Farm. Eisenhower Farm Cemetery, and then head over to Evergreen Cemetery. It's a private cemetery, but you are allowed to go through it. There's what's so interesting to me is like when that first section when you walk in or drive in, it's got, you know, I think it's I'm assuming because the graves are old, it's the oldest section, the original section of the cemetery. And there's so many names that you will recognize as a student of the battle, unless you skip over civilian crap. But if you actually read, like, you know, a narrative like Sears or Trudeau or any of those books, and they talk about the townspeople, and you don't skip it to get back to the battle, and you read the whole thing, then you will definitely know these names. And it's kind of, I don't know, it's interesting for me. I love to go there and look at these names and be like, wow, like they're not celebrities in the sense that we think of celebrities today, but to me they are, because I know their names from reading so much about the battle. And you know, in some cases I know a tidbit or two of their story, and here I am standing on top of them, on top of their mortal remains, and that's the closest I'll ever get to these people, to meeting these people. And there's something really cool about that. And of course that's anywhere. I mean, you can go to anybody's grave. It's somebody that you've never heard of, doesn't matter. You stand at their grave, it's the closest you'll ever get to meeting a dead person. It's standing on their grave. Yeah, so definitely check out Evergreen Cemetery. It's a beautiful cemetery. Of course, there's the historic gatehouse. Now, the cemetery, superintendent, I guess he is? I forget what his title is. I should have him on, Brian Kennel. I've been meaning to actually get him on. But, yeah, it was, he lives in the gatehouse, so don't go gawking too much at the gatehouse, because that's the guy's home. Battle of Liberty Place. Thank you, Mike. I knew you would remember. So anyway, my point is that, in bringing that up, is that I had no idea about that. I don't remember much about Reconstruction. I never read up on it in my private time. I remember being bored to tears when we had to do it in school, because where was all the fun? Where were all the battles? You didn't hear about this stuff, and they didn't go into it in depth anyway, just like they didn't go into the war in depth. And so when it came time to look things up on my own, I looked up what I was interested in, and only that. And so only through doing the show did I realize I can't limit things to only, or to what I'm interested. I have to broaden my horizons and become interested in other things. So I opened my mind and opened my ears and listened to stories about things that I usually would just walk right by, and found that they were just as compelling as the stories I hear about the battle. And thank God I felt that way, because then that compels me to go and find people to talk about them on shows. And yeah. So that's what you're doing over on Patreon. You're learning more as I learn it too. We're learning together. Someone messaged me the other day on Instagram. Never spoke to the guy. You know, had an account that had no posts. It wasn't up for very long, maybe a couple months, I can't remember. And it was something like, why is 1 out of every 10 episodes you put out free? You know, you're not making history accessible to the common man, Matthew. So the poor fella said the wrong thing at the wrong time, and I went off on him. And I'll read this on the show. I was basically like, do you pay for the books that you buy or that you read? Did you pay to go to school? Do you pay to watch a movie? Do you pay to buy an album? Do you pay to buy a painting? Like, why is my labor not worth getting paid for? Do you think of me as a slave? Is that it? That I don't deserve pay? I just need to do whatever I do for your benefit and get nothing out of it myself? It's like, I was like, no, like, and I did say to him, I go, I'm not angry at you like it seems. I said, but this sentiment has been out there long before I ever started doing this. I've heard people say this, oh, they're only doing it for the money, about other people. And I always rolled my eyes and thought that was the lamest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, to me, people who say that are people who couldn't figure out a way to make money without going through the system. And they're jealous. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's the way I've always taken it, because the people I've known personally who've said things like that, that's exactly the type of person they are. So maybe that's colored my view of these people. But anyway, point is, he came back and he goes, like, he realized, okay, maybe I came off a little wrong, and he apologized, and I accepted his apology, and he's like, I would love to talk to you. He goes, I promise I'm not an evil person, blah blah blah. So he gave me his number, and I'm going to talk to him, because I told him this, and I said, well, I don't have time to talk today, but we will talk. And I said, I just need to apologize to you, because you stepped on a landmine, and it's just like, I've heard this so many times before and never said anything to defend myself. And then, I don't know, you just come out of the blue. You have a new account with no posts, which makes you seem like someone who created the account just to troll people. And I have no respect for those people either. And so it's like, it was this perfect storm of stuff. And you unwittingly caught me at a time where my humor was not good. So, sorry about that. And, and it reminded me of McNair, because it's another McNair situation where this person was coming in critical. We had a little bit of a spat, and then the guy's, like, oh, no, let's talk on the phone, So, and I corrected him. I said, it's 2 out of 6 that are free. 2 out of 6 episodes that we put out every month are free. And if you count AG Today, it's 3 out of 6, so that's half. I'm sorry, 3 out of 7, so forget. See, that's Catholic school math once again, just rearing its ugly head. Anyway, I always enjoy it when, I know that guy. I always enjoy it when things happen that way. No, it wasn't you, McNair. David Spencer says, as an innocent abroad Brit, in October, it was striking how similar the civilian cemetery was to the French ones, and some really elaborate tombstones. Oh yes, elaborate tombstones, indeed. I don't know, I've never seen a French cemetery in person. I mean, I would imagine, back then, I believe, and someone who's more into the culture of the 18th and 19th centuries would have to correct me on this one or confirm what I'm saying, but I do believe Americans looked to Europe a lot more than we do today. We look to Europe because we're from there, and so a lot of these traditions would have been brought over. So I'm sure laying out of cemeteries would have been similar to what they have in Europe, because they look to Europe. That's our ancestry is European. So it doesn't surprise me that it's similar, but I don't know specifically. McNair says, I've tried to read more about the antebellum period that led up to the war and some on Reconstruction. Yeah, antebellum is another thing that I'm trying to get into as well. I gotta say, I spent this break reading Treasure Island, Robert Louis Stevenson's classic. And God, what a great story that is. What a great story. What a fantastic writer he was. I never read it. I loved the movie with Wallace Beery and Jackie Cooper and Lionel Barrymore from 1934. And it's another one of those movies that impresses me because it's made in 1934. And it to me, it holds up. I was watching a YouTube video, and it was like he was ranking the top 19. I guess there have only been 19 versions, maybe that's why. But 19 Treasure Island versions of Treasure Island, he was ranking them. And the one that I like, the Wallace Beery one, comes in at number 4. And to him, it came in at number. He said it would have been higher, except Jackie Cooper's performance annoyed him. And yeah, I get it. It kind of always annoyed me too, because he kind of talks like this. And he, well, gee, Captain Smollett, I would never do that. Like, kind of like, like golly jeepers, like that type of attitude through the whole thing. And there's a couple times where he cries. But maybe for me, it's nostalgia. Because when I was a little kid, I was home with a fever, and my dad, on the way home from work, stopped at Palmer Video, which was the video store in town before Blockbuster came and destroyed mom and pops. And he came home with that version of Treasure Island, and I loved it. It immediately captured my imagination. I thought pirates were so cool. And Long John Silver, Wallace Beery's Long John Silver, was awesome. And I've tried to watch the Charlton Heston one. I tried to watch the Disney one, which apparently the Disney one, which came out in 1950, that's the one. We'll go through the cemetery. We've got some time. That's the one where we all get that stereotypical pirate, the yar matey, like that whole thing. It comes from, I forget the actor's name who portrayed Long John Silver in that movie, which is not too different than Wallace Beery's performance, but it's a little more done up, I guess. And so that's the one and also that must have been the more popular one. All right, so this is the more modern section of Evergreen Cemetery, the gatehouse. I think they're still working on the gatehouse, so you can't get in that way. So we'll just we'll go up like this. Anyway, so I was like, man, this was great to read a classic work of fiction. Maybe I should do this more often to kind of just cleanse the palate, as it were. And so I think That's what I'm gonna do. So I ordered Kidnapped and The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And what was the other one? Oh, Huck Finn and Tom Sawyer. But it's hard to know which one you're getting. Like, you have to find, because there's all abridged versions, and then there's censored versions, and I don't want that. I want it as the author meant it to be, or as close to the author meant it to be before his editors got a hand on it. And so it's tough to find. So hopefully I got the right ones. They say, original 1876 version or whatever, but who knows? All right, so let's go up here. So we got Sachs right there, talking about names that you recognize. Oh, sorry, here's, let me back up a bit. That's John Burns. John Burns. There's some old tombstones back there. And some of the tombstones have damage from the battle. If I see one, I'll point it out to you. These military tombstones here, I believe, were the ones that Elizabeth Thorne dug. So these are battle dead. If you can get a tour of the cemetery with Brian Kennel or Deb Novotny, even Tim Smith, I believe, does cemetery stuff, definitely take advantage of that. There's the statue to Elizabeth Thorne. She lived in that gatehouse. Adam Betts wonders if any of the monuments were damaged during the battle. Well, that's one of the amazing things, is they managed to miss all the monuments, Adam. So luckily the Adams weren't, or the Adams, the monuments weren't hit. All right, you got Pfeffer. That's Eric Doors related to Pfeffers. I don't know if that is particularly. You got Butt over there. There's the Butt Farm you might recognize. I don't know that. Oh. Now, I'm just throwing out names. I don't necessarily mean to say that these are the people who are the ones that we know, but I'm sure they're related. There's James Getty's grave. I'll go really slow here as I look through. There's Hollabaws. What is that? I need to get glasses, guys. God. Spangler, Bushman. Here we go. Spanglers and Bushmen. Planks. There's Plank is, where is it? Right there. Who else? Spangler, more Spanglers. Tipton, there's Tipton up here. And okay, so there's Tipton. Jenny Wade is right behind. She gets the statue and the American flag. There's Kitzmiller's. There's another Spangler. Sorry, I'm just looking around trying to see what jumps out at me. here, there's something I'm trying to remember who and where. Culp. Just passed a Culp one. Sorry, I didn't call it out sooner. Pitzer is right there. Sheeds. Culp. Another Culp. That's Daniel Culp. Benner over here. Let me back up here a little bit. All right, so you got Benners, right across from Culps. All right, is that a coincidence, guys? Did they say, hey, our hills are across from each other? I'm sure it's not. It's more Spangler straight ahead there. There's a Spangler. So you get the point that, there's names. And these names belong to people, and these people did things or experienced things. Planks over to the left there. Experienced things during the battle and after the battle, for sure. There is another one I wanted to show you. Where is it? It's over here. A lot of people want to know. Is it true, or is it a myth, that Paul McCartney died in 1967? Well, that's where they hit him. No, I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. All right, David Kennelhart here. He was the borough council president. The Burgess, or the mayor, had fled town, so David Kennelhart was the guy who Jubal Early made some demands of. That's him. So, as you can see, a lot of cool people to visit up here. And it's, I don't know, I think I think it's a unique thing where the, local cemetery where ordinary civilians are buried is a place of interest for nerds like us, because we recognize their names from the story of the battle. And really, I mean, they all did something that obviously was worth remembering. Many did heroic things, many did nothing. But the point is, I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of where to go. Point is that they're names that we know and names that we remember, and it's kind of cool to come and see them here. Just to give you an idea of view, back up a touch, and so there we have Stevens Knoll. You can see the Slocum statue above that mausoleum. That's Stevens Knoll, and then there's Culp's Hill. Where am I going? This way. All right, now it's time for me to get some work done. So done yet, but gonna head to, well, it's lunchtime-ish, so I'm gonna head and get lunch at my favorite little place to eat. A little place that you might know as Gettysburg Baking Company. Adam says, Matt, do you have a list of scheduled live shows, or do you just pop one on when you have time? This is great, and I just stumbled on you today unplanned. No, I don't schedule these. I do them on a whim. I'm thinking. So there's a whole story to this. So I used to do them almost daily, Monday through Friday, and it was, hopes of getting more attention on the YouTube channel, but also converting it to patrons. And it worked for the first couple of weeks, but then after a while, what happens is it's the same core group of people that watch, and most of them are already patrons, or the ones that aren't are lurkers who never intended to be patrons in the first place. So you can't convert the converted. And it ended up just costing me money on, gas and wear and tear. And I have a lease, so my mileage adds up. It's about 20 miles a day that I put on. Well, actually, let's see. I had... it's about 20 miles a day that I put on doing this. And, it just wasn't paying off. But now I'm thinking if people like it, so now I'm thinking that maybe what I would do, and I don't know if this is possible to do over a cell phone, but if I can, I'll do it on Patreon for the first lieutenants, since they're paying already, and I'll just do that, and I'll continue it that way. Because people do like it, and I do like it. It's just, it costs me money, and it's not, this is a business for me. This is how I make my living. So, it's not like, oh, well, whatever, I have my job. This is just a hobby and whatever. No, this is how I make my living. So, everything I do has to make sense for me. And with the winter lectures coming up, and we're going to be videotaping them and putting them on our YouTube channel, I'm going to have very little time. So every minute that I have needs to be done working on something productive that actually brings in an income. And this is not one of those things. So it has to, unfortunately, fall by the wayside. However, I will do them on occasion when there's something to share with you. So, no parking. What are you talking about? Okay. 3 p.m. tomorrow. Okay. Anyway, guys. Well, let me just go back here. Adam says, that's what I love about AG, Matt. Just watched our end of the year show. I wanted to be there in January, but have jury duty, so need to stay close to home. You bring Gettysburg to us who cannot be there. Thank you, Adam. That's the idea, and I'm glad that you see it that way. Thank you. Spread the word, my friend. Spread the word. Wait, okay, so let's see. Black Sails was great. I haven't seen that one. All right, let me go back here. 19th century America adored French culture and art, architecture, and even military style. Well, yeah. Going back to visiting, I like mid-October. Bring my bike. Mid-October is great because the weather's nice and it's beautiful with the leaves. If you like Treasure Island, watch the series Black Sails. Yeah, is it good? Because I saw some scenes from it and it seemed kind of cheap and cheesy. I'll give it another try. I saw that Treasure Island with Jackie Cooper. I also watched the 1950s Disney version. Yeah, I like the Jackie Cooper one better. It's just the Disney version was good, but I don't know. There's something, and I think it's nostalgia that's talking here. There's Treasure Island remake with Charlton Heston, Oliver Reed, very young Christian Bale. I saw, yeah, that was another one. Okay, Rich Snyder agrees with me. Wallace Beery version is the best one. I saw Muppet Treasure Island. Okay, cute, fun, but not Treasure Island. Oh, there's a ton of nudity in Black Sails. Oh, forget it. Actually, let me pull that up right now. Thank you so much, Matt. You're welcome, Marcia. If you read Tom Sawyer and play Rush, will it sync up? That's a good one, Dragoon. Adam says, I never heard about tombstones having battle damage from the battle. Thanks, Matt. Super interesting. You're welcome. I wonder if any of the monuments were damaged during the battle. Appreciate that info. I will consider a cemetery tour when it's out. I hope you know I'm kidding. Yes, Adam. Of course I know you're kidding. Deb Novotny is great. Her cemetery tour is excellent, says Mike. Is in best Forrest Gump, what about Jenny? Oh, her grave. I missed her grave, didn't I? No, I got her grave. Okay. Matt, do you have a... Okay, no, I answered that one. I took a little advice. She's making a very unique drive this morning. Good. Glad you think so, Kev. Ghost, happy new year to all. Best wishes. Adam says, I'm a first lieutenant, so I like that idea. Oh, cool. I'll follow this content more closely if you do it more often. Adam, thank you for being a first lieutenant, first of all. I hope you enjoy it. Mike, 6 questions says, Happy New Year. Have a safe weekend and a blessed 2024. You too, Mikey. Happy New Year, Mike. Thanks for your love and support, for all your support of the show. Love it when you're on. That's very nice of you, Adam. And I love all of you, and thank you very much for your support of the show and everything. And 2024 is going to be a hell of a year, folks. It's going to be very busy. Hopefully it'll be good busy. I hope we all have good health, good wealth, and good times. And please, people, don't go into bed, get the baking company and get ahead of me and sit there all indecisive. Like, please turn into Lark. Go into Lark. Go into Lark. Damn it! Damn it! Now I gotta wait in line. Ugh. All right, you guys have a great night. Happy New Year.